When the lioness attacked the antelope calf, she swiftly knocked it down within a second. However, the mother intervened, giving an unexpected resistance and delivering a kick comparable to that of a multi-ton rhinoceros. The competition between bears and wolves in the wild makes them true enemies. They often attack each other to steal prey, even if it risks serious injuries and life-threatening situations. Expelling a predator of another kind, such as a wolf or a bear, from their territory means that both the bear and the wolf will have more prey. And bears are incredibly strong, and there are many wolves, so their rivalry usually occurs on almost equal terms. But not in this case. Here the she-bear found herself surrounded by a whole pack of wolves. Take note, the female is much smaller than the male, and although she surpasses the wolf, she doesn't appear as a giant compared to him. Nevertheless, her rage would be enough for several seasoned males. It's all because her cubs are nearby. The bear cubs are no longer helpless bundles of fur, but against the wolves, they are absolutely defenseless. Therefore, the female bravely protects them and easily scatters the wolves. The intelligent gray predators encircle the bear family, tighten the ring, and attempt to separate the she-bear from the cubs so that while the mother is busy fighting one or two wolves, the others could attack the cubs. But the she-bear acts way too quickly for them. Wolves surely don't expect such reaction speed from a heavier predator. Wolves are also very devoted parents. This she-wolf guards the pups, who are nestled in the depths of the den, resting peacefully behind their mother. The wolf's den is a place where it rules supreme. Just see how other members of the same pack are forced to submit to the she-wolf who protects her offspring. She's ready to go to the throat of anyone. It's not worth disturbing such a loyal mother any further. Childbirth is a challenging trial for any living being. But this mare, right after giving birth to a foal, didn't have a second to recover or get acquainted with her little one at all. Instead, the horse had to recall lessons in self-defense and protect the newborn foal from an enraged stallion. The huge and brutal male simply wanted to trample the little one to mate with the mare when she goes into heat again. Is that cruel? Certainly. But horses are not the most gentle animals. Fortunately, the mare possessed no less aggression than the stallion, and way greater motivation. Almost immediately after giving birth, she managed to resist the larger aggressive animal, saving her offspring. To achieve this, she used all her capabilities, pushed the aggressor away with a powerful blow, fiercely stood her ground, and was ready to sink her teeth into his throat. It's worth noting that the horse that came to help also made an effort to protect the foal. Probably it's the foal's father. The little one was indeed protected. The first day of his life turned out to be tense, but one can hope that now no one will dare to mess with him. His mother taught the aggressor a pretty good lesson. Leopards predominantly lead a solitary lifestyle and form pairs only during the mating season. Afterwards, the female raises the cubs independently. This male not only intruded into the female's territory, but also approached her den too closely. The cubs are waiting for their mother there. He is not their father, and thus the male poses a serious threat to them. Perhaps he would want to quietly get rid of them to mate with the female and become the father of her future offspring. However, the cunning plan of the male failed. The female noticed the male at the last moment and sprinted to intercept. She managed to attack the larger leopard before he could do anything irreversible to her. The mother's fury was immense. Male leopards are approximately 20% larger than females. Think that's not very much? Then imagine a heavyweight boxer facing a lightweight boxer. Can you guess the result? Well, can you? Here, the female endured a series of fierce blows. But maternal love multiplies her strength. Just look how this cat bravely defends her den with the cubs. The male already regrets daring to approach these little ones right here. The female fought him with all four paws, lying on her back, grabbing with claws, pulling towards the face to bite the throat. Having received such a strong resistance, the leopard retreats from the courageous mother who saved her cubs. The mother's battle for the survival of her offspring is simply astounding in its intensity and drama. Adult giraffes rarely fall victim to predators due to their enormous size. Although they could theoretically reach a third-floor window, a giraffe's weight is not that substantial. So an entire lion pride, with the support of males, can bring it down. However, a lone female doesn't stand a chance, and that's why the cunning predator attacks a very young giraffe. The lioness managed to drive away most of the giraffe family, and only the mother bravely stands guard over her cub. However, there's a problem. The lioness found the perfect hunting ground. It has narrow and very steep crevices, holes, and gaps, and they are covered with vegetation and surround the giraffe female and her cub. It seems like they suddenly vanished underground. But in reality, the lioness skillfully frightened the giraffe cub, causing it to stumble and fall into a deep and narrow crevice in the ground. The mother can't descend due to her excessively long legs. The cub is in shock. It hits the ground hard. In such a state, the cub is utterly helpless against the lioness. The predator effortlessly attacks and knocks it down in a place inaccessible to the cub's mother. The lioness grips the giraffe's throat and drags it away from the camera, as if trying to conceal the consequences of her actions. Nevertheless, finishing off the cub there, in the narrow part of the pit, is inconvenient for the lioness. She seizes its throat and drags it to a broader location. Apparently, the predatory cat thinks the cub's mother has long gone. Indeed, this confrontation lasted a very long time, and the chances that the cub is still alive were minimal. But the lioness underestimated the devotion of the giraffe mother to her offspring. It turns out that she had been lying in wait for the lioness all this time. When the predatory cat dragged the cub to a spot where the adult giraffe could fit, the female immediately came to the cub's aid. Just look, the cub is breathing and blinking. It's in shock, in pain, but alive. Apparently, the lioness didn't have time to crush its trachea or rupture any major blood vessels. That's what saved it. As well as the mother's loyalty, of course. The female fiercely lunged at the lioness, easily driving her away, and then took her offspring under her protection. This reunion gave the cub strength. It managed to stand up even. An incredibly touching scene of rescue, where everything ended well, not only due to strength, but also patience and a belief in the best. The cheetah is about half the size of the lioness. When faced with such a competitor, the fastest runner on the planet has only one option: to retreat, using all its super speed. But this time, the lioness confronts not a lone cheetah, but a mother and her cub. The larger predatory cat aims to eliminate the competitor and swiftly attacks the teenage cheetah cub. The female cheetah could easily hide, but instead, she gives the lioness an astonishing resistance to protect her offspring. For the sake of her cub's defense, she draws the blow from the larger predator and even seems to be hunting the lioness herself. The lioness is shocked. For a moment, she felt like the antelope. The cheetah stands no chance in a confrontation with such a powerful opponent. However, the momentum is disrupted. The lioness loses speed, and the cub manages to break free from the trap and escape. The mother was ready to sacrifice herself for this survival, but fortunately, it wasn't necessary. She manages to slip away from the lioness's grip at the last moment and runs away, presumably in the direction of her cub's escape. Let's just hope the female finds her cub, and they move far away from the lion's territory. Lions are also excellent parents. Typically, all members of the pride take care of the cubs, but especially the mother and father. In this rare case, the lioness displayed insufficient tenderness towards her nieces and nephews. A significant mistake. She didn't need to quarrel with their mother. The aggressive cat attacked the bold lioness and gave her a good thrashing to teach her a lesson. Only she has the right to raise her cubs. However, the primary threat to lion cubs comes not from outsider lionesses, but from the males. In general, lions are great and gentle fathers. They love playing with the cubs and to never use force against them. However, this behavior applies only to their own offspring. When a new lion takes over a pride, he seeks out and eliminates all the cubs of the previous leader. This is the only way for him to establish dominance. Lionesses sometimes try to exist, but the invader acts selectively, targeting dens where there are either no lionesses or just one. Since the male is about twice the size of the female, she cannot protect her offspring alone. But here's a completely different situation. The conqueror miscalculated and encountered lionesses who were collectively defending their cubs. Dealing with these enraged mothers is a big mistake. The male is very powerful, but the lioness's fury makes him falter and retreat. 3 lionesses immediately launch an attack on the lone male. The intimidating sound of their roars echoes across the savannah as the heavyweight lionesses exchange devastating blows. Then the remaining lionesses join the brawl. The lion can't resist. They surround and overpower him. Whenever he tries to counterattack, one of the lionesses attacks him from behind. He must retreat now. The lion cubs are safe. Hopefully this remains the case. Lionesses can't constantly guard the cubs. Either their father will return to protect the cubs while the lionesses hunt, or they'll have to deal with this male while they still have numerical superiority. Cheetahs are the fastest runners among all the animals on the planet, but that doesn't make them invulnerable at all. Here, a family of cheetahs encountered lions. Mighty, mature males are about 4 times more massive, so it's not really surprising that they develop a speed half that of cheetahs. But their agility and ability to gain speed at lightning speed could not be underestimated. These cheetahs let the enemy get too close to them, and paid the price. To gain maximum speed, the spotted cats need only a couple of seconds, but the lions did not give their rivals this amount of time. While the cheetah was just picking up speed, the lion was already rushing at him like a live battering ram, and the huge cat knocked the opponent off his paws and instantly knocked him to the ground. The cheetah fought back, trying to hit the lion's muzzle with his clawed paws, but the advantage in strength of the larger cat is huge. The lion quickly crushed the opponent with powerful blows of its paws, after which he brutally broke his neck with a bite of its strong jaws. The rest of the cheetahs had to retreat, especially since there are 2 male lions here. They showed the runners who was the most dangerous predator out here. 4 hunting dogs noticed the lizard and immediately rushed at the reptile. But they clearly underestimated their opponent, most of whose body was hidden by muddy water. The lizard turned out to be much cooler than the predators thought it was. When she fought back, it became clear that the length of the reptile's body is about 1.5 times larger than that of any of the dogs. But there were 4 of them, and they were aggressive, especially on their own territory. Therefore, the dogs continued to attack. Well, it's your own fault. The lizard uses water as its main shelter. She dives under the algae and becomes almost invisible. Nevertheless, we must give the dogs their due. They turned out to be real brave men, and one of them rushed into the water to this monster while the others patrolled the shore. But to no avail, it did not work out defeating the lizard. The dogs chased the reptile for quite a long time until it finally got tired. The reptile made a lightning dash to the side, and probably by accident, she twisted her tail and hit one of the dogs in the face. Or maybe this slap was part of a defensive tactic? Or was the reptile just showing the dogs how much she despised them? When lions gather to hunt, they are a force to be reckoned with, especially if males join the females. But the rhinoceros is not the kind of beast that will easily surrender even to such enemies. These huge herbivores may look sleepy and slow, but in fact, they turn out to be incredibly fast runners and aggressive fighters. Rhinos have poor eyesight, so they can let a predator get close enough to them. The lions probably thought they had scared the rhinos and made them freeze in place in fear. Not at all. The herbivores just saw the predators too late. But when they finally saw it, the most interesting thing began. The lions should not have run into the displeasure of these giants. Rhinos respond to any threat with an aggressive and furious attack. A rhinoceros is more than 10 times heavier than an adult male lion, and a lioness versus a rhinoceros is like a kitten. But it seems the predatory cats do not understand what a huge advantage in strength such a massive herbivore gives. Well, the rhinos will explain it to them. Lions attack prey from different sides and try to surround it. But by causing whole clouds of dust, the rhinos are able to stop almost instantly and turn around for an impressive counterattack. Their main weapon is their horn. It's only one, but it's very sharp and long. Terrible blows from the bottom up can lift a lion into the air as if it were a kitten. In addition, even a light hit of the horn on the enemy's body leads to terrible stab wounds, which often end fatally for the enemies of these herbivorous giants. But this is not all that is in the arsenal of the mighty beasts. Rhinos prefer ramming attacks, and in this, they have reached the pinnacle of skill. You definitely don't expect such maneuverability with them, but an adult rhinoceros is able to quickly change the direction of its movement, shake its head towards the enemy, or simply just trample it. And the powerful and very thick, hard skin acts perfectly as a natural body armor, withstanding the blows of the clawed paws or even mature male lions. Even one rhinoceros can literally scatter a group of several lions and lionesses. And if there are two herbivores, they will effectively protect and cover each other. Although in exceptional cases, lions can defeat such an opponent, as you can see. They are not in front of you. Here, the rhinoceros is clearly winning, and the lions are only lucky enough to avoid their ramming blows. When a cat is sunbathing, it should not be disturbed at all. Just look at this furry little charmer. Except this kitty's got claws, and she is not afraid to use them. When two dogs pass by, they shouldn't have bullied this cat. She endured it for a couple of seconds, of course, and then got up and just threw one of the offenders into the pool. That's what effective problem solving and communication is called. A fox is a prey for a dog. Some breeds were bred specifically for fox hunting. For example, dachshunds. And if this dog, which looks like a little wiener dog, can hope with a fox in her hole, then this large black dog is able to just tear apart its opponents in general in 3 seconds, isn't it? Except the dog doesn't know who he's messing with. Foxes are incredibly fast and agile animals. This red-haired predator takes off like a racing car. Maybe the fox is not the fastest animal in the world, but his ability to accelerate is outstanding. In addition, due to its small mass, the fox changes direction faster. Combined with the natural agility and maneuverability, this makes him almost elusive. But the main thing is still the cunning of the red predator. Pay attention. The fox does not just run away from a large dog in a panic, but tracks the movements of the enemy and reacts to them in time. Has the dog stopped? So the fox can too. Did the dog attack? Then the fox will bounce back. A large hunting dog is about 3 times more massive than an opponent and will be able to break the fox's necks if he grabs it. But it seems that for the redhead, this chase is just a game. In fact, the fox is not only having fun as an adrenaline-addicted biker, he also uses a trick to save his energy. By accurately calculating the trajectory of the enemy's movement and stopping when the dog does so, the fox retains maximum strength. He is tough, but not indefinitely, so it is important for him not to panic and not try to break away from his pursuer. After all, there may be beaters ahead, an ambush of other dogs, or a hunter with a gun. The fox understands this and is not going to allow himself to be driven like a panicked rabbit. The dog is furious, breaking into a run again and again in an attempt to catch prey. But he can't reach such a nimble beast. But then something completely amazing happens. When the dog gets tired of this running around, it allows itself to turn its back on the fox. And this is a big mistake. This miniature beast may not be a super fighter, but it is not afraid to attack the offender if the opportunity presents itself. As a result, the fox grabs the dog by the groin with his fangs. The dog reacts instantly, but the red-haired beast dodges even at this close range. The dog has learned his lesson and will no longer neglect this opponent. And here, the fox generally trolls a huge Kangai. This breed belongs to the strongest herding dogs in the world. 3 Kangaus can fight a bear. A fox should tremble and panic at the mere sight of such a powerful enemy, should it not? No way. This clever wild hunter immediately noticed that the Kangal was on a chain. Therefore, right in front of the eyes of the heavyweight dog, struck by such arrogance, the fox calmly surveys the territory, runs around, and seems to tease the enemy. The Kangal rushes forward but can't really do anything, because the chain is holding it securely. The fox is also at risk because he did not really measure the length of the leash. But the reaction speed does not let the wild predator down, and he dodges the enemy's fangs.